Hello, my name is Miro and welcome to another installment of Hoya of the Week. And today we have a very nice Hoya. As you can see from the title, it is a Hoya that is still unnamed. It is a species from Sumatra, but before we get into that, I want to show you my Coriacea silver. I just took it out from my tent and she's looking so nice. I don't know if you remember that I repotted this recently in a video and I snapped off like half of the root system. Oopsie. She was in a small cup and it was quite a shocking loss actually of the roots. But she's looking very nice. I think she grew 2 more nodes since then. But she also, aside from that, she grew roots here. She's in a self-watering pot, just received water. So that is super nice. I'm so happy for her. I love when they thrive like that. Also, I need you to know that you're not going to get repotted anytime soon. So whatever you do with the roots, it's on you. But she's looking so fine. Oh my gosh, I love this plant so much. This is from my friend Farah. It was a 1-node 2-leaf cutting in October. And it grew all of this. And I know that she can grow faster, but please, like, this is exceptionally well. I'm an underwaterer, okay? I know she could have been larger. But anyway, the Hoya that we are covering today is not that. It is something else entirely. And it is Hoya species Bengkulu, and sometimes called Rindu rafflesia. I did get it as Rindu rafflesia, and this is the plant in question. As you can see here, I talked about this plant on my channel before. I don't know, can you tell that this is freshly retrellised at 2 a.m. last night? Probably. Yeah, this is freshly retrellised. I will tell you exactly why, and freshly potted into this pot. But you can see she looks actually really good on this trellis. I quite like it. Considering it is done at 2 a.m., it's a great job. I am not entirely sure when this plant entered circulation. If you know the exact time, do let me know in the comment below. But I do believe it was somewhere around 2018 or 2019 when this first appeared. Now it has been in cultivation for quite some time, and there is even a silver version of this plant. I only have the green one, and I do believe we shall be stopping there potentially. I always say that and then I get the other one right. This plant is from Sumatra, from Indonesia. It is a very, very lovely plant. You can see on the leaves here. Oh my gosh, they look so good. And currently it does not have a name as of recording this video. I checked, I couldn't find a name for this plant. I don't think that this has been published. It will probably be soon published. I do think it is a unique species. It is actually unique because it has a clear sap. As you know, not many Hoyas have clear sap. I think there's around maybe 15 to 30 species at most. We typically associate clear sap with species that are like Carnosa or similar to Carnosa. So obviously, Carnosa, pubicalis, fungi, boni, etc. Species Tamdao, which is also probably fungi. But this plant also does have a clear sap. So that makes it quite unique. You will commonly find this plant in the trade as species Bengkulu because it was discovered in Bengkulu forest in Sumatra in Indonesia. But also you can find it under the name species Rindu rafflesia, and that is the name under which this plant arrived to me from a subscriber, Peter. I can't remember exactly when. I do believe it was in 2021, question mark. I don't think it was 2022, but I could be wrong. I believe it was 2021. And since then, it has been cut many times. She has given many offsprings, which makes me quite happy because I think just everyone should have this Hoya. I mean, I know I say that for a lot of plants, but this is truly one of my top 10 species for sure. For the reasons which I will, of course, tell you in the video, but I do believe that the name Rindu rafflesia has been given because she has been found growing near the rafflesia flower. I read that someplace. They tried to look it up again for this video, and I just could not find that information again. So I don't know, maybe it was just in a dream. People do say that these are bamboo-like leaves. I don't honestly see it. To me, it just doesn't give off that vibe. I don't associate these with bamboo. It has been a while since I saw a bamboo leaf, but yeah, I don't associate them with that. Some leaves do have splash, but typically I really don't think of this plant as a plant that has a lot of splash. I think of it as a plant that has very nice elongated leaf and this very dominant nervature. Actually, I was surprised to see that there is a silver one because my plant doesn't really make that much splash. Like, there is some, but I don't know. I just don't see this sporting a vine that's gonna be silver, but who knows? Maybe I will be lucky. Maybe I will get a variegated vine, which won't be so bad actually. I think it might look nice on this. This plant is a really fast grower. I do have, I think, 2 or 3 cuttings in this pot. I did restart it fairly recently. It was growing in pon and it was growing in one of the tower trellises, which I didn't really love, so I wanted to restart it. I think it looks much nicer on this hoop trellis. It does need a trellis. As you potentially know, or maybe you don't know, I did try to grow one of the propagations as a hanging plant, and it didn't really work. For the longest time. It didn't grow, and even when it grew, it really looked for something to wrap around, which was one of my shelves that went into my eye. Not almost, it went into my eye. So I would definitely give it a trellis early on if you want this to grow well. The other propagation, or the base of this plant, was sort of laying on the bottom of my tent that stays on top of the other two. And that's why you can see that some of the leaves are a little bit deformed, like this one. They are a little bit wrinkled. That typically happens when this plant doesn't have space to grow the leaves properly. I mean, it happens with all of the Hoyas, but this one seems to be particularly sensitive to it. And the leaves, for me, are not that long. This is one of the original leaves that Peter sent, or maybe the leaf that Peter sent it with. And you can see most of my leaves are narrower and they are shorter. Some of them are quite small, and that is due to the exposure to higher light. But I think even smaller leaves are very impressive. Obviously, I would like more of these, so I'll maybe reduce the light a bit, but you know, when you reduce the light, then it will flower a little bit less. When you up the light, it will flower more. Now, since we are on the topic of the flowers are amazing. They are yellow with this sort of purplish iridescent corona. It really looks like it is glowing, and they are reflexed, meaning that the corolla sort of rolls back. It bends back. You will see in the photos. Initially, when they open, they are not, and it takes about a day or so for them to fully reflex or to fully open, if you want to say it like that. And the flowers last about 3 days, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. That really depends on the temperatures, on your watering, etc. Several factors can influence how long a flower will last. I sort of think I need perhaps to start some type of a journal to track each flowering, even though I think that would be quite tricky. Oftentimes I don't even see it, because it really is not that fixed of a thing. For example, I think I said in one of the videos, Hoya that it flowers only for one night. It opens at night and it flowers only for one night, which has been true the first time, but every other flowering she has bloomed all day, night plus day, and for several days, which is not super common. So yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I think we need to track that a little bit more. I do want to pin this vine down, I don't know if you can see, to get a little bit more roots. And since we are on the topic of the roots, this one does not really make an extensive root system. You can definitely keep her in a smaller pot. I do have about, again, as I said, probably 4. I have the base, 1, 2, 3, I think 4 cuttings in this plant, and they are all well established, but as you can see, it just does not make a super large root system, which actually is quite good because that means you can grow it in one pot for a long time. Sometimes it does push out long vines with no leaves, and then you can see on this one of these vines, she's trying to grow like 5 or 6 leaves at the same time, like here, here. It's just like going crazy. I do hope that all of those make it, because as you know, I don't really love when there are vines with no leaves, but For this one, I will forgive her. Unfortunately, it does seem to me that I lost the peduncle. It had a couple of peduncles, and it seems that I lost them. So I'm quite sad because, it takes some time to develop those, and I would like to see her flower soon. She hasn't been flowering as frequently because she has been now neglected, but when I wasn't neglecting her, she has flowered much more frequently. I wouldn't say every month, but every 2-3 months you can expect this one to flower. And the flowers smell to me a little bit like clove. They're very nice. The scent is not very strong. I don't think anyone will be repulsed or offended by them. We do have a dead tip here, so I'm just gonna take that off. That's probably due to the repotting, which tells you that she can be a little bit sensitive sometimes. I generally don't think of this plant as a sensitive plant. She is very strong, but there are some signs that show you that she is like that. And I saw one of the baby leaves here went a little bit black, so that's after the repotting. One other thing is that this plant is very sensitive to underwatering. The leaves will become very soft. When you look at the plant, you sort of think that the leaves are much firmer than they actually are, but they really are not. They're really quite bendable. I think if you just looked at the leaf on the photo like that, you would most likely assume that this leaf is more rigid than it is, but it's really not. It's very, very bendable. And she is very easy to underwater. I do try to water her as frequently as I can. I'm not gonna tell you once a week. It's also not once a week because she's in a self-watering pot, and she has been in a self-watering pot before when I was growing it in pond. For a moment there when I was trying to grow it as a hanging plant, she was not in a self-watering pot, and then I definitely needed to water her once a week. But yeah, this plant is really susceptible to underwatering in a sense that she will really go floppy and the leaves will go very, very soft very quickly. And it's kind of scary actually because you think she's not going to recover, but she does bounce back. But maybe then some of your vines will die back as well, or some of the new leaves that you had growing. Now, this Hoya, I do believe, prefers to be a little bit on the warm side. Where she comes from Bengkulu, the temperatures are never below 22 degrees of Celsius, and they go from 22 to 31. Once again, I have to look what that is in Fahrenheit. So that's from 71.6 to 89.6 of Fahrenheit. Warm grower, definitely. She does really well in my room, but again, my room rarely gets below 21 degrees of Celsius, which again, what did I say? That's 70. It rarely gets below that, which makes it difficult for me to grow and bloom, or mostly to bloom, some of the cooler growing species. But yeah, this one is not a challenge. Why is this cocoa husk falling? Just stay in place. Gravity, so annoying sometimes. As I said, for the potting mix, she used to be in pond, but now she's in cocoa husk. Considering that she likes a lot of water, I would consider something like cocoa husk or bark with maybe moss or pumice, or something that's airy but can retain moisture a little bit. I don't think I would go for cocoa peated perlite, to be quite honest with you, but I would really look at something that I can water frequently to hydrate the plant and that it would dry out. I don't think she would want to hold on for moisture that long. I just think she wants to be watered frequently, if that makes sense. Sort of like orchids, where they want to have that quick wet and dry cycle. You water them, then it dries out, then you water them relatively frequently again, or relatively soon. The English is not Englishing here. It is definitely a plant that I recommend. Once again, I just think the flowers are gorgeous, the leaves are gorgeous. There is nothing about this plant that I dislike, really nothing. It's lovely. The back of the leaf is also very nice. Sort of the veining is prominent there as well. It is a very interesting species. It is not so difficult to come by these days. Not sure about Australia. My Australian subscribers will let me know, but I think in the US and Europe it's not that difficult to come by. Gorgeous one, really. You are not going to be disappointed. It's one of the best Hoyas. I really wish all of the Hoyas were like this, bloom fairly soon, grow really well. just no problem, child. You know, it's nice to have a challenge, but like less. Thank you very much. And one other thing that I forgot to tell you about this Hoya is something that I remembered just a second ago and I forgot it again. So we'll take a moment to remember. Oh yes, it was about flowering. That actually took like 5 minutes. It flowers early on. It can flower under 6 months. My plant flowered very early on from a cutting, so that is also nice. You don't have to wait forever to get the blooms on this one. And it is very easy to propagate as well. Another thing that we forgot, you can see that we have some roots here that have dried up. I'm probably going to take those off. Those were just the result of this plant being in the prop box, but all along the stem you have the bumps, so super easy to root in whatever you want. Water, cocoa husk. I rooted these in cocoa husk, very quick to root. It's just a lovely one. So we love all of the aspects of it, really. That is all for today. Do let me know if you have this plant and express your love for it in the comments. If you don't, you absolutely need to get it. You are 100% not going to be disappointed. I mean, have you ever been disappointed by a Hoya that I recommended? Don't answer if you have. Thank you so much for watching. Join me once again on Sunday for what will probably be something very chaotic, as always. And I will see you soon. Have a wonderful week, and, you know, that's it. When will I just do less awkward outros is the question. Never. I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 2 anonymous patrons, Anna K, Alex von Siebenthal, Amber Clear, Anne Margaret Moon, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Anne C, Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brad Noble, Karen, Candy Tap, Catherine Molina, Christine Claire Cola, Connie Pagano, Daniela Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Deborah Violet, Deli Heridia, Deanne Sikorsky, Dipanjali Rao, Either W, Erin Keenan, Eleni Saxon, Ellen, M. Mortal, Farah, Gathering Moss, Gina Geise, Go Green Tropical, Gross It's Kyle, Heather Uppingham, Hoji Scott, Hoya Heather, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Jonas Barry, Hjorth Larson, Jovan Denot, Kara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Callie Gallagher, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Lisa Mary, MPLS, Lori J. Revert, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Maria Stein, Marina Yarmolich, Mars B, Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michael Curley, Michelle Heron, Nicole Ferranti, Mirka Grun Roos, Moa Edmond, Nelly Yang, Niha Basso, Nicole Maroney, Nanguin, Nita Macy, Odette Brooke, BJ Planet Druid, Rachel Peterson, Sandra Cornelius, Sherry Kumar, Sophia Rian, Stephanie H2O, Tessa Martins, Tia B, TJWO, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Wendy Rossman, Zenia Green, Youth of the Walamut, Zaira Rivera, Zordarama, and Zlako Niponi. A big thank you to my $3 patrons: Angelina Farnan, Kilone Constance, Daryl De Rosario, Eden C, Jessica Petron, Catherine Parsons, Kens Brown, L. Lindbergh, Lindsay Ann, Mary H, Monica Wykers, Nella, Syke Zera, Renee Church, Ringloptang, Watanas Riakul, and Wendy Foreman. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: one anonymous patron, Alice Borland, Brandon Pacheco, Christina Greengrass, Colleen Coyle Levi, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jamie Arsenath, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Lauren M, Lorianne Subramaniam, Luzman Fernandez, Neely Spicer, Nerdy Kathy, Olivia Chin Mueller, Rebecca C, Sarah, and Tracy the Eyebuilder.